said to you forever.
Hey, welcome to this special episode of Firm Foundation. My name is Richard Moore. In this podcast, I talk about everything that's moving me in relation to church and theology, hopefully to empower you to build a firm foundation in Jesus Christ. So many of you may know that I'm a missionary, longtime missionary in Germany. I've been working with youth for 10 years or so in Germany, all sorts of different ways. And I'm a longtime youth pastor. I've been in youth ministry for 20 years before we came to Germany, and now 10 years in Germany. I've been working with youth and serving a German church planting organization. We do all sorts of work trying to reach teenagers as well as building the church and doing that kind of work. Many of you may also know that I'm a PhD student currently. I'm a candidate in a PhD program. I wanted to share with y'all what exactly I'm studying. I'm studying youth cultures because I want to discover how to effectively reach teenagers so that those who look at my research can understand missionary work within a model for generational churches. So many experts believe that the church is losing this generation. There's different various reports on what will happen if the trend continues. In the research that I'm doing, I would hope to give churches and youth ministry professionals and what I call youth culture missionaries a rationale for why and what a youth missionary movement could look like. I would hope that my work might be an impetus to a movement that could penetrate youth subcultures, just as a missionary movement would go into, let's say, tribal people groups with the gospel, and following that would be a church planting as young people in those various youth subcultures receive the gospel. The problem is quite grave, and teenagers are leaving the church in record numbers. Churches are losing an entire generation and do not seem to even be able to retain their own teenagers, much less reach new teenagers. So there are some astounding statistics that are displaying the trends. And so that's the problem of this research and my dissertation proposal. And my research question is, how can youth culture missionaries be empowered to reach young adults through an innovative and dynamic model for generational churches? So I'm researching the distinguishing characteristics of those particular youth cultures, and three particular cultures that I'm looking at, and specifically the hip-hop culture, the skater culture, and the athletic culture. I want to ask the question, what are the current on-ramps for gospel witness within youth culture, and to find out these characteristics of these three specific youth cultures. And then I want to ask the question, in what ways can we be incarnational, or I don't even know if I like that term, but more imminent in our outreach, or how can we be present in ministry? As youth culture missionaries, how can we be effective by inserting ourselves into youth subcultures? For instance, hip hop, skater, and athletic subcultures. The next question I want to ask is, what innovative model of outreach could empower youth culture missionaries, professionals in youth ministry, and other churches who are interested in reaching youth cultures? So I'm currently in the final writing phase of my dissertation. My dissertation proposal has been approved, and I'm moving forward with my research into those three subcultures. I'm going to implant myself into three of those subcultures to try to do what we call an ethnographic qualitative research. That's just a fancy way of saying to implant yourself into those cultures to try to learn and research the characteristics of that specific culture. And so I'm in the final phase of that writing project, and I am seeking funding for this final phase. There have been some great donors who have donated to my study so far. So the funding I'm looking for includes the final year of my tuition, travel to and study of three youth subcultures, hopefully in the United States. And I'm currently in the final dissertation year as a student at Baki Graduate University, and all the fees and things that I will need to finally graduate. If God is leading you, then I would humbly ask you to consider supporting this research. And if God's leading you to do that, then I have set up a GoFundMe page where you can fund this research. I put a QR code over here in the corner, so it's really easy for you to click on that there to do the QR code, or to click on in the description of the show notes here so you can go and check that GoFundMe page out. If God is leading you to fund me, I would really, really appreciate it. And God bless you for your generosity. So that'll do it. I just wanted to explain to you my research and what God is doing, hopefully through that research and my dissertation. If you're interested in finding more about my ministry, you're welcome to go to richardpmoore.net. I also blog at richardpmoore.blogspot.com. You're welcome to follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at richardm23 is my handle. If you have any questions or comments, especially about this particular subject, I'd really be willing to talk with you. Please email me at firmfoundation@gmail.com. That's firmfoundation@gmail.com. Otherwise, please feel free to click on that QR code in the corner and or go to the link in the description, and there you'll find out all the information about my GoFundMe. If you do prayerfully consider this, I would really appreciate it. God bless you. Until next time, take care.
So that on Jesus has leaned for